Hey, welcome and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I will be sharing my 2025-2026 homeschool curriculum picks for my 7 and 6-year-old. If you are new, I am Diamond, a homeschooling mom to a 7, 6, and 3-year-old, and I always share our curriculum picks, yearly. So nothing is different today. A few months ago, I did do a brainstorming video where I was kind of like thinking about different curriculums and what I wanted to use, what I thought would be interesting and stuff like that. And as y'all know, a lot of research goes into that. So I finally narrowed down my choices, picked out the final things. We've got started. We're actually on week 1 right now. So I'm just going to share what we're using and why. Okay, so I'm going to start off first with my 7-year-old. She is primarily working on a 3rd grade level as far as curriculum and stuff like that. So let's get started with that. Okay, I'm going to start with some definites where it's individualized, and then towards the end of the video I'm going to share what they're working on together as a group. First, for handwriting, I don't have a specific handwriting curriculum. I never have bought purchased something separately for handwriting, in terms of a guiding type workbook or something like that. And this year I was I don't think I want to do it. I just don't. I feel like there are other ways around it, but that's just me. So a few months ago I purchased this workbook from Ollie's. It's a cursive writing workbook, and it was only $3. So for her, my biggest thing was she has practiced with cursive already, but I wanted to get a workbook that has numbered order so she can know in which order to make the stroke. And so I found a way to utilize this workbook to give her more practice with the letters. And I'm not going to use it like most people would, going page by page. I'm choosing different letters for her to practice, and she's not doing a full page at a time, but we're working on perfecting that specific letter or however many letters I choose to let her do. As well as we've had this book, January's cursive workbooks, for years, so we're just going to implement that for more practice. Once she has a formation and how we form those strokes, then we can do that in the workbook, and then for extra practice throughout the day or whenever she wants to, then she can do the dry erase workbook. So that's for handwriting. Okay, now for our geography, we have a few things, right? And I want to make a whole separate video for geography because I love the way we're going to be doing it this year. Excuse the kids in the background. Something we're using definitely is the skill sharpeners by Even More. I love their geography skill sharpeners. We've used it in the past, and this year I was yes, she's in the 3rd grade, but I know she'll definitely enjoy the 2nd grade skill sharpener workbook because they have a lot more hands-on activities and it's a lot more digestible. And I'll kind of show you a little bit maybe what I mean by that. With the 2nd grade level, for instance, there are short digestible reading passages. Then there are different fill in the blanks or different crossword puzzles, simple activities, write a sentence here and there. And then there are different topics, the same thing, different at least 3 or 4 pages to work on. And her favorite thing to do is to do the hands-on activities. So yesterday they painted a globe, a model of the globe using a foam ball. And this is what 2nd grade looks like. A lot of hands-on activities, whether it's painting, cutting, drawing, gluing, a lot of scissor work involved, and that's the type of stuff she really likes. And I was I also think it would be a good idea to just go through here to make sure that we know those different map skills, and it's just as a refresher, right? But I also purchased the 3rd grade version as well because she is on a 3rd grade level. But with the 3rd grade one, it's not as exciting, right? It's a lot of reading and you only ask a few questions. So this is an example of the globe page. It's a front, it's a back, and there are 3 questions at the bottom. No hands-on activity. Same thing, reading, a fill in the blank, but not really a lot of cutting and pasting, not really a lot of hands-on activities that she's currently into right now. But I told her that we compare them together, right? We compare them together. They do have crossword puzzles, but it's very lengthy in terms of the reading, which she can handle. But I just know she would enjoy the 2nd grade level more. And then once you finish up with that one, then we'll move on to this one, since I already have it and she can use it. Yeah. So skill sharpeners for geography, for the first part of geography. And then for math, I've already shared numerous times that we love Math with Confidence. So we went with Math with Confidence 3rd grade for her. And we actually got started on that in April. The first trimester hit and we took a break for the summer. So we're back with that. With language arts, I am doing something different with them. So I think I'm going to save language arts for the end of the video, so it won't be like confusion on, you know, what we're using. So I'm going to move on to some things that I'm using for my 6-year-old. So for her, we're kind of using the same things, right? For her math, we are doing the 2nd grade Math with Confidence. She's working on 2nd grade level. For her geography, I did get the 1st grade version because I don't want any gaps in between her learning in terms of map skills, the compass and stuff like that. And of course, she really enjoys the cutting and pasting out of things. And regardless of her topic, the topics in the geography books are pretty similar, but hers is more foundational. So if I see something in my 7-year-old workbook that she'll enjoy, then I'll make sure that I get it for both of them. So like, I know that she was going to want to do a model of the globe, even though we were talking about like map keys and stuff like that. For her, she still made her own model, so they are working together in certain aspects, right? So 1st grade geography, skill sharpening for her. Math with Confidence for her handwriting, we are doing something a little bit different. For her, I just noticed that it's just certain letters that she's still like writing backwards, if that makes sense. But I also grabbed her one of these little handwriting workbooks, and we're using it differently. It's not a page a day. We're also doing something out of here. They have the dry erase boards, the line boards, so that we can do additional practice. Like if I had them write the date, I have them write our address, I have them write different things, and to see how they're, you know, forming their letters and how neat it is and stuff like that. So we're just doing a workbook as something additional, and I also have other little workbooks that I've purchased over the years. So for handwriting, I am addressing it as I need to for her. And yeah, now I'm going to get on to the language arts. Now for language arts, you know, it consists of different things, right? So you have the phonics, you have the grammar, you have the spelling, vocabulary, you have writing, and I'm not sure what else I'm missing. In previous years, I used an all-in-one curriculum. This time I handpicked what I wanted to use. So I was like, I want to do it all together so it won't be a gap, like, okay, what are they using for language arts? I'm kind of doing it together and then also separately. So just hit me out with this. For language arts this year, specifically for grammar, I am trying out the first language lessons, and I'm doing level 2 because again, I just want to make sure they have the foundation down. Like, we've had practice with grammar before in different manners and different workbooks and different curriculum, but I want to try this because it's mainly oral lessons. They do have like little copy work, but I'm like, we kind of get copy work in other areas of our school day, so sometimes they'll be doing the copy work, but for the most part it's like I want to do the grammar aloud. If I need to pair like a worksheet with it, then I have a site that I'll use for that. But I love the fact of doing it together with them. It makes things a whole lot easier, especially since I'm expecting. So that's one part, the grammar. Now for the writing, I did share this in another video that I chose the daily 6 trait writing by Evan Moore for them for writing because I wanted a very gentle approach, but I wanted them to be learning. I didn't want it to be like too stressful because for many children, they really dislike having to write. They do. And I said I wanted it to be like a step-by-step, you know, very gentle approach. So with the Even More Daily 6th Grade Writing, I went with the 1st grade level for my 6-year-old and the 2nd grade level for my 7-year-old because I don't want any gaps, right? I want them to know what they need to know, and I want to just build upon that. So this goes out writing. This primarily has like 4 worksheets per week, and then the 5th day is a writing prompt, and those probably will be optional for us unless it's just a really good writing prompt that I know they enjoy. And of course it's on different levels, so I can incorporate the writing prompt in other areas, books they're reading, you know, things they want to draw about and stuff like that. But so far we are enjoying it. It's very simple, like 5 minutes per day, 5 to 10 minutes per day per worksheet. We've been doubling up doing day 1 and day 2 on one day, so it takes no time for this. The next piece to the puzzle for language arts is I wanted something for phonics. I wanted to get UFly, and then I was looking at another curriculum for it. And I was like, my girls, they really have a good foundation in phonics already. So I want something that I can go through that's not too much. And I was thinking about printing out so much stuff, but I was like, you know what? I printed off this Phonics years ago. It's very like boring. It's black and white, but this is something I was working with them over the summer, just going through the different lessons, just making sure they know the different rules and stuff like that. So this is like a glimpse of what it looks like on the inside. Not a lot of bells and whistles at all. It's simply black and white, but they don't mind. They do not mind. So I said I'm going to implement this just to make sure, you know, they're up to par, that they know all the sounds. And I do have a checklist right here. I think this is the Logic of English Phonogram Mastery Checklist. So it's like when I see different issues of them reading, I can go back to this list and see what we need to work on. And that's my way of keeping up with where they are, you know. So that's what I'm currently doing for phonics. I do think I'm going to eventually invest in UFly because it's probably something I want to do with my son. But as of now, I'm going to utilize this, what I already have printed off. And it's not going to be a daily thing for us. They have lots of reading practice. But we're going to figure out how to incorporate it. And I'm just going to use it, yeah, weekly, basically. But it won't be like every day, unless I change my mind. So this is the funnest portion. And then I'm also going to be implementing something that I've been looking at for years, y'all, and that is Fish Tank Learning Language Arts. So with Fish Tank Learning Language Arts, it's online, it's a free curriculum. I think it's from K to 8th grade. And I'm really enjoying it. Like, I'm really enjoying it. One thing I love about it is the diverse book list. Like, their book list is on point. Okay, there are so many diverse books that I have not seen or read that I'm so excited they get to be exposed to. So for Fish Tank Learning, I have printed out the first few lessons for them. I like that it is a language arts curriculum, so it does cover vocabulary, it covers reading, it covers the writing, right? But not in the way that it's broken down super easily. It's more so like this, building on a year before. But Fish Tank Learning, I love it. I love it so far. Love the book list. Like, and for a lot of the books my library do have, they have different checklists for writing and stuff like that. So I'm just going to be incorporating it as I see fit. I'm not going to do like every single, you know, like activity from Fish Tank Learning, but there are great writing prompts, there are great activities, there are great talking points that I've seen so far. So I have printed out like a few different lessons. I think it's a lot of great exposure. So for like the 2nd grade level, they start off with what is culture, and I'm like, it's a great way to get in like the geography, the culture, the history, all of that through one program. So I'm still trying to figure out how many days a week we're going to do this, but I love the fact that they include vocabulary words that they can really focus on, different questions once they read different chapter books. They do have writing prompts that they can do pretty much daily if they're not like writing something big. And I know my children read a whole lot anyway. With like their chapter books, they'll finish one in a whole day. This is a great way to break it down because they have to read like a few pages per day to kind of discuss what they went over and stuff like that. But I love it, specifically the vocabulary portion, because I've been trying to figure out a way to incorporate more vocabulary words, and I wasn't really sure like how to do that. If you're taking vocabulary words from books that they are reading, and that is amazing. So yeah, that's what I'm going for right now for language arts. I don't think I missed anything, but yeah, Fish Tank Learning, y'all, absolutely free program. We'll definitely do a video if y'all want to know more about it or how you can maybe incorporate it. That's language arts. Now for geography, I was trying to tell y'all that I'm doing something fun. My girls did say they want to learn about the 50 states and capitals this year, and I was like, what is a good way we can do that? What is a fun way we can do that? So I was, you know, of course, searching the internet, like what are some fun ways. I didn't really want a dry curriculum. I didn't really want anything that was super in-depth because it's an introduction, right? I wanted to be a good way to explore, to relate things to, you know, states we visited. So we are doing an interactive journal for geography. I plan to do a whole separate video to kind of give you all the details and resources we're using and stuff like that. But basically, I found a resource on Teachers Pay Teachers that goes through the 50 states and capitals. Very, very, like, I would say simple, but it's not a lot of prep work at all. Like it includes a 50 states and capital song, which you don't really like. But for each state, they either give you a video to watch, just like 3 or 4 minutes, or a website to go look on where the kids learn different interesting facts. It's really, really fun. So we've already got started. So this is an example of what it should look like for each state. They have the state name, the state flag. They have a bucket list, and then they'll have like the state facts, like the state capital, the state flower, or the state bird. I can't even see. Yeah, state bird, state flower, and then any interesting facts that you learned from the video or any books that you're reading. We're going to be incorporating a new state per week where we focus on the state facts and stuff like that. But of course, we're also going to do something different, right? Because why wouldn't I? We're going to incorporate Black history with this as well. So we're going to be discussing historical figures that were either born in the states or made a difference in those states so they can learn about them. So for instance, for Alabama, we could talk about Mae Jemison, we could talk about Dr. Martin Luther King, which is what my girls wrote about. They wanted to write about Dr. Martin Luther King. We could have did something about George Washington Carver. So it's a good way to incorporate history as well as, you know, going through the states. So something they've been doing is also using different puzzles and stuff, and I'll share it in another video. But both of my girls are doing it together. I did create this cover page for them, so each week we learn about a state, they'll color it in just to make it interactive and fun. This does not take them long at all, though. This is something they're really, really excited about. This is our first year using like interactive journals or notebooks, so that's super exciting for them. And this is paired on the days we don't do geography and a skill sharpener. So like, you know, about 1 time a week, honestly. Geography is twice a week, but we do skill sharpeners. And then on, like yesterday, we did skill sharpener in this notebook. Okay, something else we are doing this year, we of course are incorporating our homeschool kitchen, and this is my own like in the kitchen guide / curriculum for kids who are interested in learning more about the kitchen, different kitchen skills, different terminologies, trying out different recipes, and it's also weaved in with science experiments that relates to the weekly topics. So I will make sure I include this link in my description box. But we have really been enjoying it. My kids are always in the kitchen with me, have been that way since they were babies, from them sitting on the counter watching me to them mixing stuff to now my girls are able to cook simple meals by themselves. So I just love that for them. I love explaining the why behind everything. I do have a science degree, so it's like, it's my nature. Like, this is what I love, and they are very hands-on children. They love to follow their own recipes, right? They know how to read. This is infused with videos and stuff like that for things they don't understand, right? So they're learning new science terms and things of that nature, but it's supposed to be a really fun way to bond with the family. This is not something that I'm trying to check off a list or, you know, meet certain requirements. It's purely like life skills, you know, fun things. So whether they're making a new meal a week or trying out a new skill, whether it's cutting or working in the oven or stuff like that, it's really fun. It's really fun for them. So this is also something we're incorporating. I have to make sure that I got it right. Last but not least, oh, this is not last but not least, y'all, I'm totally forgetting. Now, for science, I did not mention science, but for science, we are doing something different this year. For science, we're using primarily mystery science, and then we're also going with the interest-led topics. So I asked my girls like some things they wanted to learn about, and they gave me like 6 or 7 things they wanted to learn about. So if mystery science doesn't cover that, then I'll find a way to make it work, right? I love for science to be discovery based, hands-on, and like what the child is interested in, while also infusing in, okay, what are they supposed to be learning? Like, what are some age appropriate topics that we can go over? So we are loving mystery science. It's also, well, it's not free. We're currently using a free trial on there. I'm trying to see if we're going to actually invest in the full like thing to get all the lessons, but there's so much material. It's video based. It is like designed for like a classroom, so I love the interactiveness of it. I need to do a demo so y'all can see what I'm talking about, but it's not just videos online. There are worksheets and stuff that you can print out and prep so that they can write as they watch the videos. They can brainstorm and write things down. They have different questions to answer and stuff. And my girls have been loving it. That's another subject they are doing together. Mystery science. I almost forgot, but I wrote everything down. And also I mentioned the science experiments, so we're going to use those, as well as we have other science experiments books, so they're not missing out on any hands-on aspect of science. And then the last thing that we're using, y'all, this is not the last thing. For music, we are going with piano. We have been using Hoffman Academy online, which is an online piano like program to teach them how to play piano. They absolutely love it. I love that it comes with worksheets if you get the premium version, and just different things where they can work on things. They also have in-person lessons, usually on Mondays, with someone coming here to work with them on things in person. And what I love about doing it both ways is these 2 different approaches. So the in-person classes are like traditional, like book-based, and then the Hoffman Academy, you're learning to play by ear first, and it's more visual and it's more fun. So they get the best of both worlds. So I really enjoy that for them. Piano days are usually like Mondays, more so because it's the in-person lesson, but Hoffman Academy can be done at any time. My girls usually work together, they're watching the videos together, and then they just take turn practicing the different skills. So that's something they're loving. And then this year I'm also incorporating, this is the last thing for real, I'm also incorporating art. So for art, I was just thinking about at first just doing like the artwork books, the directed drawings, the Art for Kids Hub, and things of that nature, which I do have those books. But I've also seen another homeschool mom introduce me to a art like book, like an art curriculum type book. So I'm still waiting on that to come in. I think it's going to be the Art Everywhere by Hardcore, I think. So once they come in, I'll probably share that, but I want them to know about art, like the different art techniques, different art media and stuff like that. And of course you can always pair that with art museum trips or looking up more things, doing art studies on different artists and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that because my girls do love to draw as well. But this is my picks for our homeschool curriculum for this year. Because I am expecting, I did want to condense things to where they are working together for a good amount of time, which leads me to not being so here, there, everywhere, and it being a whole lot on me. So as I said, for geography, for science, for art, for a little part of language arts, they're going to be working together, right? And then the individualized things, of course, is math, their reading levels, handwriting, their writing levels, and I think that's about it. I don't know if I'm missing anything, but hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions, then definitely let me know. What I'm planning to do for my 3-year-old is not included in this video, but if you want to see what I'm doing for him, let me know, okay? Let me know. I think I covered everything. If not, I'll do a part 2. But thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you in my next video.